Evening guys, what I'm going to show you tonight is a short video on really what I do with my dahlias. I'm a big dahlia fan and I've learnt probably most of my stuff about dahlias from other YouTubers. I won't put any comments or shout outs in the video tonight because I'm a very new YouTuber, so I don't think it'd be appropriate. But what I'm going to show you is all affiliate to them really. So I'll spin you around and I'll just show you what I do with my dahlia tubers before I plant them. So I've got two tubers in here and they're starting to shoot lovely now, but as you can see, this one here is a really long, it's probably, I don't know, 6 inches central sprout. It looks roofless, but what I'll do, I'll cut that off here and that ultimately will give you side shoots. I've got another one there that I've already cut, if you can see that. Cut that one already. Look at this one. And that one again has been cut. So we'll do this one now. I'll show you how roofless it is. It's it does seem horrible, but it will give you bushier plants and more flowers. So I'll get the secateurs, always use sharp ones, and what we'll do, we'll cut it off. Let me just turn that around so you can see it a little bit better. Central stem there. Straight off, just like that. Seems horrible because it's quite a big stem and nice growth. But what that will do ultimately is give you more flowers and bushier plants. Let me show you one that I've done already. So this one I've done last week. We zoom in. See already there's 2 side shoots coming, which will give you bushier plant and more flowers. Another one there. Side shoots coming. Let me see if I can find another pot. It's a different pot. And again, you can see where I've cut the stem. 2 side shoots. Same with this tuber. 2 side shoots. These are quite small, these ones. There is 3 tubers in this pot. They were really small tubers. I do apologise for the quality. I'm on the stick and the phone at the minute. But don't be scared, people. If you cut your central stems off, dahlias are late flowering anyway. So you will get a little bit of delay in flowering, but they're late flowering anyway, so it shouldn't really matter. So there you go. That's what I do. It does look roofless. And I owe all of this to a certain YouTuber, which I won't shout out at the minute, but this is what they do, and they've taught me everything I know about dahlias really. Just a word of advice: when you take cuttings off, if you look in the center, they're hollow, so don't try and plant them to try and get more plants, because it just will not happen, not off cutting off a stem. You really need to take basal cuttings off a dahlia, which I'm not going to do this year because most of mine are new. But a basil cutting, basically you're taking a cutting when it starts to shoot, and you take a tiny bit of the tuber with it and pop that up. It's got some root with it, but this will not grow. It's hollow. So don't think you can plant that and get a plant out of it, because it just will not work. So I'll give you a quick garden tour. I don't have a polytunnel, I don't have an allotment. Everything I do is done in the garage and basically a cold frame in a grow house. It's virtually 90% concrete. These are my plants outside at the minute that are not looking fantastic, to be fair. All on the concrete path. If I turn you around and show you the panoramic of the garden, it's all gravel, concrete and decking, but I do manage to grow quite a lot of stuff. Let's walk you down the short path. Got a few pot beans in pot, upturned strawberry pots. I'll fill them with WD-40, and as you can see, no slug damage. Got a few potatoes growing here. These are in biodegradable buckets. These are earlies, Charlotte and Kestrel, I think. Got a carrot box over here. Seen it on YouTube, thought I'd try it. It's a 1/4 ton of sharp sand in there, cored out with sieve soil, and we're looking okay. This is the tunnel I'm going to put the tomatoes in. It's literally £10. Let me zoom out. It's a £10 Wilco tunnel. I'm going to put tomatoes in there in halos, which are sunk into 12-litre buckets. The bottom's cut out into a grow bag. Bit of cosmos. A few buckets of Sarpomira main crop potatoes. Need earthing up a little bit. The polytunnel, well, not polytunnel, the grow house. A few cucumbers in there, they're dying to go out. Starved of nutrients. Got a few sweet corn in there that I've sowed last week, I think, because mine don't look too good. They're coming up now. Everything looks a bit dry at the minute, needs a water. Some lettuce, dying to go out. Cucumbers again, struggling to go out. Tomatoes, struggling to go out. Leeks, hopefully they'll go in when the onions come out. So the view down the garden. This bed is one of the only 2 beds I've got. This will be basically all Rebecca's, leucanthemums and a few sunflowers. A few alliums that are actually starting to go over now. That looked gorgeous the other day. I've got a couple of raised beds here. So the peas are doing really well. These are only supposed to grow about 60 centimetres high, but I don't think my netting's going to cover it, but they're flowering lovely. So we should get a few peas. These beds, by the way, are just pallet collars. They're 100 by 120 or 40 by 48. I've got a few lettuces I've run down the middle just so we don't waste space, as you can see them. Runner beans not looking very well. I don't look healthy at all. We're getting a bit of slugs eating them. I have got extra ones to put in. Even got some companion planting, but doesn't seem to be helping. I've even got copper wire, copper tape, but they're yellowing and going a little bit rusty. Don't know why. These are new beds. There's plenty of nutrients in there, and they're watered regular. But no, they're not looking fantastic, to be honest. It's a little bit disappointing. Don't know what I've done wrong. If you know, chuck me a comment. There's plenty of nutrients there. It's all new compost. It's got farm yard manure in there, fish blood and bone. Yeah. It actually looks a little bit better on camera, but they're more yellowy than green. This second bed will be for the cucumbers. Just knocked up a simple, well, frame, trellis. Just galvanised wire on a bit of CLS. It'll only last a year because it's CLS, it'll rot. It's quite easy to do. So this bed will have cucumbers and probably 2 rows, block of 6 or 8 sweet corn. These beds, to be honest, pallet collars you can buy for about £8 each, and they're normally about 20 centimetres high. So what I did was cut one in half and put an extra layer on the top. So it's 30 centimetres high, which is 12 inches. It's pretty much the bare minimum that you can grow stuff in, but as you can see, I'm on concrete slabs. It's rented accommodation. I can't take it up. This used to be the seating area, so I put the seating area down the back, which was basically a concrete crypt. That's all I can explain it as. And I put decking on there, so the seating area is down and it gets sun in the late evening, which made space for 2 planters up here. Got a small decking trough there with lettuce, which seems to be doing okay. Needs a drink. Give him a good water last night, but it's been really dry all day. Cherry tree. It's 2 years old. I just think the birds will have more of these than me. It's looking good. I've got another pallet collar bed here, and we've got onions in there, and some bunching onions in the corner, because the corner is actually on concrete, if you can see, but they don't need a lot of depth. But these have got full depth. They're actually on soil, and they're looking okay actually. Just hope the weather doesn't make them bolt. They've been in about 6 weeks now, and they're looking good. So these are the, well, grasses. They're absolutely massive. Bought these in 9 centimetre pots 2 years ago. Gone crazy. They're actually in 6 inches of soil. That's it. Covered with bark chips. Holds the moisture, and they seem to be doing really well. In fact, they're doing too well. I think next year I'll probably split them. I'll go over the bridge. In fact, I won't go over the bridge. I'll just show you what's going on down this border again. This border will be full of rudbeckias and leucanthemums, as I said before. This will predominantly be yellow, white and orange. This whole bed. There'll be a few sunflowers in here as well. Some more rudbeckias coming up here. So if we go onto the decking, got a nice little honeysuckle there against the dead conifers, which is starting to flower. Hanging basket with some tumbling tom tomatoes. So when we're sitting on the deck in the summer, if you fancy a little munch on a tomato, it's at hand height. You can just lean over and pick a couple. Good idea? Don't know. Let me know. I think it is. On the table at the minute, got some just carrots in pots. These resistor fly. So they'll only be small. They're only in 10-litre pots, but they'll just be pickings for salads, stuff like that. That seems to be going alright. Second sowing there. If you keep sowing every 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have carrots all the way through the year. Got an apple tree here that someone bought me. It's a short version of a rootstock. I don't know what the rootstock is off the top of my head, but you can see where it's been grafted. So it will only stay small. But it doesn't look too bad. So this is the view from the other side of the garden. That's the garage where I do. Oh, the light's a bit, the sun's the other way now. But that's the view from the other side. So you can see where we started. Blue tits have fledged yesterday. Got a plant on the wall. Again, this is just 2 decking boards. So it doesn't get a lot of sun, so I've just put a bit of lobelia and a few marigolds in there, just to brighten the wall up. Insect hotel, must have. Got 4 broccolis in pots here. Again, they're not doing great, but it doesn't get a lot of sun, so I might move these actually. They're not getting eaten, but they're not getting any sun either, so. When you've got a concrete garden, nowhere to plant, use pots. You can grow anything in pots, guys. Got a random random pot of potatoes there. Sarpo mirrors, put them in 2 weeks ago. Looking lovely. That's a gazania that they're grown as annuals. I put this one in the garage last year, and it's I cut it back really hard, put it out, and we got growth. Happy days. Pot beans. You might have seen these in my pot bean video about how to deter slugs. No sign of any slugs. But again, they're not looking green. I don't know what's going on with my beans this year. Ooh, hello. Ooh, a few strawberries. 3 strawberry plants in here. Looking okay. Just in a pot again. As I say, if you've got nowhere to grow anything, get pots. So this bed will be all dahlias, delphiniums and Rebecca's. I think this is going to be a colourful border. It's going to be a massive mix of colours and stuff. Middle of the garden, I've got pots of all kinds of stuff everywhere and nowhere to put it. I've got a run of beans there. They're my saviours, should we say. I've got some broccoli over there, been absolutely demolished, sitting on the gravel, so I'm quite surprised that they've been demolished. Got a pot of rosemary that's starting to flower. I've had that about 4 years. It's gone quite woody, so I might need to replenish that. Spring onions. I sow these every 2 weeks, so I've got a constant supply. Crocosmia. Bought this as a plant last year. It was just going over end of the season. I think we paid £3 for it. And by looking at the amount of shoots we've got, it's cormed up really well. I'll probably divide it next year. It's there's a lot of corms in there. So that's basically a tour of the garden, guys. If you saw the pea sowing video in the tiny little trough, here's an update. As I say, they're a bit dry, but I think that was 2 weeks ago, and you can see 2 inches of soil works, and I'll put them out somewhere when I find space. So as you can see guys, my garden is not full of soil. It's virtually a couple of borders with flowers in and gravel and patio slabs. So it does show what you can do if you've got a little bit of time and patience, a little bit of creativity obviously, and that is basically it. No greenhouse, no polytunnel, no allotment, but you can, I mean that's the garage, that's where I do everything. You can do quite a lot with it. Just use your head, be creative, go skip diving, rob a few pallets. It's all these plants are made out of pallets. That was made out of pallets 4 years ago. And I normally plant flowers in every year. As you can see, it's had tulips in it. They're dying back now. I'll take that out. I'm not going to put flowers in this year. I'm going to put peas in it, I think. Just recondition the soil. Put some fertiliser in. Some farmyard manure. Same as this one here. There's a planter underneath the pea box. You can see it's a square planter. It's only about 12 inches deep, if that. But I might even put, you know, some veggies in there. Who knows? Watch this space. Could be an interesting year. I'm learning. We're all learning. As gardeners, you always learn. I've got a few hanging baskets. Put up yesterday. That's just begonias and lobelia in there. One thing I will say, I bought this soil from Wilco's, which is got some, it's basket soil, which retains moisture. It's got a moisture retaining gel in it, and I haven't watered it for 2 days, and it does retain moisture. It's absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't advise using it for edibles, obviously for certain reasons, and it does work. It actually does retain the moisture really well. This one here you can still see it's still really damp, which is brilliant. It means, because hanging baskets dry out really quick, but that I can actually say that the Wilco moisture retaining basket soil is really good. So there you go guys, that's a quick tour of the garden. I'll update. There's a couple of odd strawberries on the fence. I'll update in the next video and see how things are improving. Hopefully somebody can tell me what's wrong with beans, because I've got a lot of beans in, but they don't seem to be doing very well. It might be the weather, I don't know. There's plenty of nutrients in there. So we'll just see what's occurring and what's going on. There's a view from just outside the garage. That's the pathway up to the door. There's another hanging basket there. It's actually the walkway up to the door. I thought I'd put that down, low down, so that when you're walking in the summer, if you're really hot and you fancy picking a tomato off, a couple of tumbling Tom tomatoes in there on your way in. Might be a good idea, might not. But you've got to be creative when you have a garden that is completely hard landscaped. So I hope this is, I don't know, give you some inspiration really. I didn't start gardening until 2019, and I guarantee in 3 months' time this will look absolutely amazing and show you just what you can do. So I hope that's given you enough to go on with the concrete garden. Oh, little pond. Forgot all about the little pond. This is just a plastic pond, I know. Just a wildlife pond. There's no fish in it. It's not deep enough. I wouldn't put fish in a pond that's only, I don't know, I don't even know how deep it is. Probably about 12, 14 inches. It's not deep enough for fish. But yeah, just a little wildlife pond. So I hope that's filled your appetite. and inspired you to go out and do a little bit yourself. You can grow anything in pots, which I've proved, and I've been doing this for years. Well, 3 years, 4 years. It can be done if you've got concrete everywhere, guys, and decking and paving slabs. Get some pallet collars, a few cheap little tunnels, bits and bobs, and do a bit of skip diving. You can grow a lot. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.